Good morning, everybody. I hope everybody's having a great day. As you can see, my Scottish side is showing today. I love wearing my plaid. My husband spent a fortune on it for me. So I hope everybody out there is going to be happy and having a good time. I'm having a blast. I love wearing my tartan. I've actually thought about going to the store just to get a gallon milk so I can walk around. Take the dress for a walk. I did take a couple of pictures, but there was no way I could reach the actual button so that you could see the entire gown. This is one of my Christmas presents for my husband. Um, I have a kilt as well, but I'm afraid I have gotten a little larger there. So he'll probably buy me another one if I ask. I hate to though. So I love the gown here that he got me. So let's see what's up today. You know, it's for entertainment purposes only, and I warned y'all I was going to be here all week. Let's see, what do we got going here? Well, not a hell of a lot. Yeah, I'm in one of those moods. I can't seem to shake it. And I love, I haven't been able to wear my regalia for some time. Between my husband had to fight cancer, had God bless him, he won. And he was stage four. Nobody survives stage four. This was told me by doctors, nurses, hospice, everybody. And it was a blooming miracle, if you ask me. I used to make him mad just we know how to push each other's buttons, but I used to make him mad just so he'd fight, you know. And it worked. I mean, whatever he did worked. I couldn't have done it. I had a small procedure myself and 6 surgeries, and that was bad enough for me. He actually took 2 chemos. I wouldn't take one, but he wouldn't take any more after two. But he beat the shit out of it. And he was not young. He's still gorgeous, but he was not young. And I'm just grateful to God that he's still here. Because when he told me it was stage four, my whole world just went boom. I've been in and out of the medical field since I was active duty Army. And when it wasn't that he had cancer, it was when he said it was stage four. And I kept thinking, I need to faint. I need to faint. I never could faint. My mama could look at you and faint. If you were bleeding, she looked at the faint. Me, you can tell me that the earth is ending. I'm not going to faint. So today I decided, yeah, I don't wear my regalia very much. And my husband is awesome. And it takes me to the Scottish Rites Festival, bless him. And it's a fortune. It's not a fortune to get in. I think it's like $10 a ticket. But he's married to me. So, you know, if I say, can I have that, honey? Well, he's going to go get it. I try not to go over budget, but I can't promise anything. So we hadn't been in a while, and he bought an RV, paid for cash, and he's doing renovations in it. And I can't tell you how much I'm looking forward to that. I don't think I'll make the Scottish Rites Festival. I'm praying it's in June of this year, and I've missed it for years. And I love it. And especially, and at the time when he first took me, I knew I was Scottish or Irish, the red hair, green eyes. It was a dead giveaway at some point. Even the Creek Nation, who he's a chief of, um, had a red haired chief. And so the red hair was at that point not unusual, nothing to think about. Turned out after I did the DA test, I was not Native American, but I am full UK, basically Scottish. And he had bought all my regalia and all that years before we ever found it out. He even bought my sword, the one that was used with Mel Gibson, and they call it a claymore. And this is one heck of a sword. He knew I wanted a suit of armor. God bless him. I thought, oh, we'll never find one of those. He found me a suit of armor. I call him Sir Lancelot. He's on the other side of the bar. I have a great husband. I really have a great husband. I give him a lot of hell, and he works with that. He's amazing. He really is. They call him a Guyver at work because the man can do anything. I want to say and whenever he buys me a car, he gives me the car note. It's mine. There's no payments. He did buy me 2 new ones. and I didn't like that. Both were in accidents, totaled, and so at the time he wanted me to. I was working, of course, and he wanted. He always. I don't know how he does it. Within 24 to 48 hours, even with insurance, giving me a rental. He's got me a new car. It's already got a title and tag. That's why we call him a guyver. He's very good about taking me places like, say, the medieval festival. Uh, the very first time we went, I wanted to dress, and I didn't have any medieval things on, and I love doing this stuff. I believe I lived in those eras, and so he said, "This is my queen. Dress her as a queen." And God, I felt beautiful. I'll have to put that picture up. And I walked out like I was on a cloud. I mean, I was. It was like my wedding day. It was so freaking awesome. And then I saw the receipt, and I mean, I just totally flipped. I was like, "Oh my God, there's no way," because it was over $1,000 for everything. Now I look damn good. I can't disagree with that. But the money, he refused to let me take that back. That I was his queen, and I just was on a cloud all day long. I didn't get tired. I wasn't walking. I was just on this cloud nine. It's one of my favorite memories besides my wedding and the Scottish Reds Festival. And Jim Miney, he's very good about getting me out and doing things that I want to do. And he's always been, Johnny on the spot without any complaints or anything. So I got very lucky. I really did. He takes great care of my son as well. And uh, my granddaughter is his granddaughter. My son is his son. Same with my daughter. His daughter is my daughter. I don't do the step thing. I love her as if, I mean, I always wanted a daughter. And then I got the most beautiful daughter, and with three grandkids. And so I was on the moon. She's beautiful. She's intelligent. She's hardworking. My son will be 45 this year, and she will turn 43 this year. It's amazing how time runs past you. It seems just like yesterday that they were in high school and covering each other's butts. No, I mean, they are like true brother and sister. If the one does something, the other one's right there to fix it or cover it up. I mean, and they're good. They were good in high school, let me tell you. But I love all dearly. I just, and our daughter is down below Macon, so we can't see her as much between her schedule, the children's schedule, Robert's schedule. I can't travel but he's got the RV and he's getting that ready. And I'm hoping it's ready by June so I can travel to Atlanta, which isn't that far from here. Um, I have been dying to go back to the Scottish Rites Festival and to the Medieval Festival. And the really bad thing for me is they have a medieval festival right here in Aiken, South Carolina, but it's not the one he took me to or always took me to, so I want to go to that one. I want to go to the one in Atlanta. So I'm hoping that, we'll be able to go. You never know. We can try. You guys are backwards. I'm losing my little signet thing. It's my signet. I don't know how Queen Elizabeth and them stay perfectly gowned in rooms with all these ribbons and things. Um, I would explain some of this is regalia from my tribe. Well, I don't think it's a clan. Um, it's if you're part of that clan, even if you just discovered it, as I found out. And my husband did everything. He took me and did everything. That man spent several $1,000s. I mean, he bought me a kilt. He bought the socks were $100. And it didn't matter if I complained, it was here. And before I left, I had the full regalia, the tam o' shanter, everything. I have no idea what he had to spend thousands. And again, I was walking on cloud nine. And I haven't worn it in a couple of years. But there's something to putting it on. It's like old home week. So forgive me, today is going to be my Scottish day. And I'm still doing really good. I think it's for entertainment purposes only. I'm over here all week. I promise. I see. I do not see anything that I wanted to speak of as far as current events. I did see one AJ and Hecklefish on the Y Files, and they're going to take a break. Bless him. I really adore him. He's got a whole production crew, but he didn't start that way. And he's built his, and it takes time. And I'm praying that you guys will pop in and say, "What the hell are you wearing?" Something. So I was like, okay, well, I'll try to. I see a reverb a bit here. We're going to push this back a little. My husband was telling me he really couldn't hear me. And I'm from the north. The people next door usually can hear me. I mean, it's crazy. So I was watching, anyway, I was watching the White Files. And you really should see them if you haven't. He touches on everything, pretty much like Casper Sight. They'll drop a small video, talk about, who did this Bible, or did you see the new giant footprint tracks? Have you seen out of place objects? The opals. And so, yeah, there's tons to talk about, and I've been thinking about, like I said, popping those little windows in so that what I talk about you can see. Um, but again, I'm kind of wavering on that side. We'll see which way I go. You can't tell. It's hard to tell which way I'll tell. My husband, I think, is the only one that knows. He knows. My son knows if I get angry, and I mean, he knows in a heartbeat. So does my husband, and so we can all see. Yeah, I go from zero to bitch in a nanosecond. But my husband's the calm to my storm. And I've been very lucky for a long time. We have an anniversary coming up, and I keep racking my brain trying to find something he would love, and I cannot think of it. I would love to give him a fishing trip, just go away for 2 weeks because he loves to fish, and he hasn't had like a day off in like a decade. Me, I'm at home, big deal. I don't need to go anywhere. And if I did, I'd just ask him, he would take me. And he's fixing up the RV real pretty. And again, we might make, I doubt we make the medieval festival this year. It's in April. But I think we might make Stone Mountain. But again, it's very expensive because I go along and I look at stuff and he goes, "Do you want that?" And I go, "Sure." I shouldn't, but I do. And for some God unknown reason, I walk over and I find the most expensive thing in there. I don't mean to, but so I wore my regalia this morning. Again, I'm hoping to go out in June and take care of that. It's a pity because he pays several $1,000s for me to be able to go and be who I am, really. As I say, I was adopted. I didn't know until I was in my 30s. And then it was later on when I did the DNA that I found out, I was Scottish. And even though I had no proof at the time, at Starmount, he spent thousands to put me in a kilt and get that ready. Georgia has its own plaid now. So if you are Georgian and you think you might be Scottish, you don't have to have the proof. You can run up and you can pick up. It's green. It's beautiful, green, blue, and black. And you can. And I think they're $100, but that's not bad. These things last forever. Most of them are handmade by wool. Um, Mine has lasted 20 odd years. The only problem is I didn't get smaller. But if I ask him, he'll get me another one. So I'm trying to wait to see if we're going to go because they are not cheap. I'll tell you what, you can only buy them from Edinburgh. There's nobody in the U.S. that I have found that sells them. And I mean, as far as it goes, Edinburgh is pretty cheap when you think about it. You have to send it from there. It's got to be, they kind of tailor it, they send the measurements. And but I'm wanting a new one because I love to go out one day because he got them for me. And those days, I actually floated around thinking I was beautiful and I was a queen. I can't describe the experience to go from a very poor girl with, friends, but hardly any time to see them, to someone who actually took care of me, appreciated what I wanted, everything. Um, no marriage is perfect, but mine's pretty close. We've had our times, of course. but I couldn't find a better husband no matter what. Uh, he may not, I mean, you're not going to find my husband in a kilt, but if I want a new kilt, he'll have it delivered. So I try not, like I said, I try not to say anything because I don't want to do that yet. I will see if the RV is done and we could stay that way. It's not too expensive to stay in a hotel. And actually, Atlanta's only like an hour and a half. I might be able to just sit and drive there. So, because it's expensive to move that RV, it's got a lot of gas. And then you got to go to the RV park and you have to tow your car. So we might just drive. We'll see if we can make it. Because he works, even though he's retired, his boss will call in and say, MacGyver, I need you. And he's gone. I see that some of the songs come out way too loud. And again, my husband is being extraordinarily patient today because he has yet to get to his day. Um, and he's waiting for me to get through the podcast so that he can run on out. He tries very hard not to be in the way, or at least not to be on camera. So do I, but I end up here anyway. Um, it's, guys, just sit out there and like, share, hit hit the subscribe button. It's free. You can take it off in like 20 seconds. I hate to sound like I'm begging, but I want to keep my channel, and I beg all of you just to hit a like for me. You don't even have to watch it, although they know if you do or not. You'd think I was paying them or something. At the moment, no, I'm not paying them. But if I do go on and I get my 1,000 people, then I'm going to be able to go on to what they call the Patreon stage. And I've already looked at merchandise and so forth. And oh, am I going to have fun with that one? I mean, it's so cute. And I believe in everything. Well, I believe in discussing everything. We'll put it that way. I see. I took my allergy and I still can't breathe. Isn't this great? My husband. It's another one he bought me years ago, back when I did smoke. I don't know if you can see it very well. The light is really on it. Isn't it beautiful? And I have not smoked in years and years, it seems like. And yet he managed to get me some stuff that's still working. Well, maybe. There we go. Have my little satay while I'm with y'all. If there's any comments, throw them in there, throw them in there. It's my Scottish day, and I hope that I'm going to see more Scots today. I don't know. It's not exactly a day, it's not a holiday, but I hope to hear from a few of you. I have before. And I always fidget when I get up here. I don't know why that is, but I just fidget away. Let's see, we're going over current events. They suck still. The kids, my kids in their 40s, are doing great, top of their careers, so no worries there. Um, my grandchildren are either grown, mainly grown, and I have a couple still. That would be my youngest, my daughter's side, Eli, and my youngest on my son's side would be Lily, who's going to be 12. And I just can't tell. They're so beautiful, those girls. They are. I worry. I don't know where they got that beauty, but they are gorgeous. Their parents are as well. These kids are just beyond belief. I didn't wear lipstick hardly. I mean, sometimes up until I was like 18 or 19. In the military, you don't have time for that crap. Plus, you can't wear that crap. So it's permanent duty. It's like a 9 to 5. And I got sent to the college campus for it. I shouldn't even say what it is. For, I can't do it. Fort Sam Houston. If you are in the military, and my Ezra, my grandson, I'm the oldest of my daughter's side, my stepdaughter, she first, trained right there. And I would have been part of his training had I been still active there. So I was tickled that he was at Fort Sam. And it's like I said, it's like a college campus. And you would actually, I used to put kegs in the park as a quadrangle of buildings. And I would have a cake party right there in the parking lot. I don't think they allow that anymore. There's a lot of stuff they don't allow anymore. I don't know why. It's a pity. The kids don't get half of the fun we did, not even half. And good God, son, we had some fun. I had fun all over the world. Used to run through things like the Louvre. I mean, this is a gigantic place. If you stand there and read a plaque, you're going to see four things and you got to go. I ran. I actually found a secret. This is funny too. I actually found a secret palace a secret way into the palace at Wolfenstein. And I didn't even think about it. It opened up and I just popped in there and I turned around, the door closed. I was like, oh shit. Full uniform. And I'm with three other girls. So I'm marching through there and all I can see, I'm looking back going, oh my God. You can see my footprints. This is so dusty. You can see only my footprints. I'm like, oh, I'm going to get in so much trouble, you know. At that time, I was sergeant. And the other two girls were scouring the museum looking for me. Meantime, I'm trying to get out of the secret tunnel. I ended up coming out in the King's Chambers. Or was it the Queen? I think it was the King's Chambers. And when I came out, there was all kinds of folk there with guns drawn. So they knew there's cameras, of course. So they knew. And it took some explaining. One of the better things was the fact that I was in uniform and I had not realized that they had seen it on the tape that it opened, and I kind of peeked in, went in, and it was it. They were pretty good about it. They could have been really assholes. They could have sent me to Mannheim. I mean, really, they could have. It could have been really bad. So I didn't look for any, and I didn't look for that secret passageway, but I kept away from that shit. I went where the ropes were. I learned my lesson. I thought, okay, we're good. I advise everybody to go visit Europe at least once. Take the cruise, like, and you can see Amsterdam, France, whatever, the cruise shows. Go over there. You talk about countries that are several thousand years old. It's an amazing thing to do that. I don't know if I advise anyone to go to the Vatican lately, though. A little worried they got my son baptized there, truthfully. Uh, God knows who's good, I suppose. Like Santa Claus, I know who's good, who's bad. We'll have to go with that. Maybe I'm going to hit by lightning anytime now. mm. Oh, it's good coffee. Where was I? Oh, yeah, there's just nothing of note to talk about this morning. AJ on the White House, I think I mentioned him already. They're going to take a break, go to vacation. And these guys they're awesome. They really are. And I love the channel. Hecklefish is my favorite. And yes, I'm fidgeting again. Of course, I'm always fidgeting. I was going to ask my husband to pick up stuff, but I ended up so dressed up. I really wanted to wear my tartan today. I don't know why I get these things. Just be glad I'm not sitting up here in medieval dress. And I tend to have an idea. This is what I want to watch today. This is what I want to do today. And again, I have a very patient husband. He lies a lot. Oh, you look great, babe. He's very kind. Let's see. Our gray ghost that came in running with me trying to catch him. He came in from outside. I heard him underneath the patio. So I got him food, and he ate about half the food while I was watching because he was little, and I want the other big ones to hurt him. And they were all eating, and he was eaten over by that. And I hated the fact that I thought he was staying up under the porch when we had the house for them. Robert put a second one up, like overnight. Not even. I mean, it was a couple hours. And this is not easy to do. And yet he still got what plants he could. He saved, and the animals can go in there. I mean, he's a good guy. He really is a good guy. You wouldn't believe what we spend to feed them. You just would not believe it. No one will help. They ask why if they're going to have babies. Why do you keep them? Have you caught a cat? You know, this is the kill shelter here in Augusta. It's a kill shelter. So even and yes, we can catch them in a trap and release cage. We know that, but we it's just it breaks our hearts to think. I mean, the people don't understand it. It seems to me, maybe animal owners do, that whether they're inside or they're outside, they depend on you and they love you for what you're doing. They do know that you're helping them. They know. When we come home in the car or the truck, either one, my husband drives an Avalanche and he got me a Chevy Cruze. Love my car. I had a Cadillac for like 15 years and I hated losing my 96 one. It was, the big boat. And at the time, I didn't think I could handle it. And that was the smoothest baby. She never let me down. In over a decade. I think one time he had to guide me in. He drove it, and I stood up and drove his truck. I literally stood up to drive his truck. This is about a mile away. I think it needed an alternate, something silly, but well, I say silly. Nobody else would. But being married to an ace mechanic for 34 years is, I don't worry about it. I call Robert because I know he's going to fix it. It's going to be right. He checks my car. He checks the oil. He checks the windshield fluid. You know, tire pressure, all that stuff. He takes care of that for me. I'm so bad I literally have to get out and walk around the car and see where the gas is. So he usually puts gas in the car for me. Of course, I'm always one that says if something happens to him, because it scared the piss out of me when he got stage 4, uh, that's something right there. That's a miracle. But I told him they're gonna have to dig 2 holes because I'm not staying. So, and there are people who have passed away next to each other in the hospital or at home or hospice. Uh, they do stay together until they go on. And I would love it that way. I would love to uh, be able to walk with Robert. And I know his daughter Misty will be there for us. She'll be looking for us. Beautiful child was taken away too soon in a house fire, and I never got to meet her physically. But every morning, I touch her and I say, "Good morning, sunshine," and I believe they can hear us. She knows what her dad's doing. She knows where her dad is, and she's waiting when he gets across. I'm gonna let him get her first, and then I'm gonna get a second. Beautiful child, sunshine. Same with our granddaughter, our youngest granddaughter. She's my sunshine. So you have to in our 60s, and he's pushing 70 almost, and yet we really should be in an area where we don't have to do so much. Um, he works anyway, but I wish we were in some ways not in a place where we had to take care of the lawn and the trees and yada yada. But at the same time, all the changes he's done to the house for me, I would hate to leave. I love the changes he's made. Everybody else is too. No matter what, they like it too. And my poor scarf, it wouldn't stay on even when I wear it out. And I usually would pin it so that it would stay where it's supposed to. It's supposed to go all the way down the back, and it's supposed to leave the symbol of the clan where you can see it. And I just was in a hurry because I don't want to be too late this morning, so I apologize. It's the best it's going to be. I might just go to the store just for fun. I like to do things just for Snickers. And I usually don't smoke, but lately I had been wanting my cigarillos like when I was in Europe, and baby found them for me and bought them. And they're not cheap, but I found he gave me such beautiful lighters. Well, I mean, I smoked for 30, 40 years, it seemed like. And he got me some of the most beautiful lighters, and they still work. It's amazing. They've stayed in a drawer for years. Look how beautiful that is. I don't know if you can see it very well. But I had my soapboard. Let's see if I can see it past the shininess. A lot of shine here. And I grabbed. I have a lot of cigarette cases. So this one is the one I used today because I was going to use the silver one. So, but I have times. I mean, I mean, you have to be a lady, I think, sometimes. If you're in uniform and you've got a firefight going, uh, you don't have to be a lady. You got to be a soldier. There's a big difference. But sometimes you can be a lady. And most of the time, people seem to have forgotten that. I've seen women go to Walmart in their pajamas. I don't go to my post box at 20 feet from the house in my slippers and robe. And yeah, I have 40 or 50 of those. I could do that. Are you crazy? It's what? Used to be, we had the right to service shoes, shirts, shoes, whatever. These people come and wear diapers. I kid you not, you can't make this stuff up. They end up on the Walmart roll. Mm. There were a few things going on that they're trying to get done, especially about the illegals. I can't. None of us can understand how come they're in Adidas and Nike and in a hotel with a card with money and stamps or whatever food. And they're stepping over the veterans sleeping in the street to get in the hotel. It's like, what? I use Cat Williams there, another favorite of mine. And I worry for him because he too has come out. Jim Carrey, uh, Cat Williams. There's a few that has come out and said what Hollywood really was. And it was bad, I knew, in the 40s and 50s when it first came out, even the talkies. But by the time they got to the 50s, they had it on. And back then, TV was still free, but the advertisement was paying a fortune. No, it's not free. We pay a fortune, and the advertisement pays a fortune. You got to love that. Let's see, what else was it I want to talk to about? Mm. I say I don't have much time left. It seems to go so fast here when I'm up here. Again, there's not a podcaster that doesn't want to not say, hey, like this, share this, hit the subscribe. We hate saying it, but it will so save the channel. And I so need you guys. I appreciate all of you. I really need you guys to throw those comments in. Right now, we're on live chat if you want to pop in. I didn't say I could stay on one subject long for the whole thing, but I would give it a shot if there's something you want to know or see. Again, I don't drop other ones yet. I'm thinking about it though. But again, to grab someone else's video to explain something that I'm doing seems like plagiarism to me. I'm a published author, and I would be upset if someone, wrote a second book to go with this. So it's kind of like that to me. But I'm working on it. All of this is, I wear all the hats. I'm the producer. I'm the editor. I'm the set designer. Mm. My husband takes care of hooking everything up because I can't do that part. But we are set up. He set it up for me so that I could do a podcast with someone. I could actually talk to someone. So I'm hoping that a friend of mine is now out of the hospital and is doing pretty good. I don't know why I fidget when I sit here, but I do. I really fidget. Um, yeah, it drives me nuts. So isn't that lovely? Robert bought that necklace for me. It has matching earrings, but you really can't see them because I was trying to miss the tam o'shanter up top. Most of it's just say tam. Uh, Again, if you think you're Irish or if you've done the DNA and you're Irish or Scottish, mine was Scottish than anything else, um, the clans accept you unconditionally. And now it's expensive. I won't deny that. It's not expensive to get in. But if you're going to buy your outfit that represents your clan, and I was, like I said, on cloud nine because he dressed me from head to toe and took me several times. So more things were bought. So just be prepared, maybe buy a little at a time and go 2 or 3 times like we did. But I know I felt, and I still do when I put it on, it's almost like a hug. And for 30 years, I didn't know who I was. I mean, I did know something, but they kept saying no. And I kept saying, screw you. I'm a bitch. Mm. Of course, those 900 police cars at the mall in Miami were there because they heard somebody had a weapon. Nothing about those 12-foot tall aliens. It had nothing to do with that. I love the part too where nothing happened at Roswell. Oh, it was a weather balloon. Well, that's something that happened at Roswell, right? Still wouldn't go away. So then it was a weather balloon with dummies. And they burned up and they looked like people. Still nothing, but you're coming up with excuses. Now they're dummies. I mean, come on. It's nothing or. They went years for doing that shit. Of course, they had a landing there. People don't understand, and I think it was ingenious what Major Corso did. He took little pieces, say, of night vision to this company, and he took little pieces of fiber optics to this country or company, depending. And little things like the transistors and stuff like that, they were brought to different companies because they have the right not to release what they're working on. They have a right to privacy. Where that's not true in government, you have to have transparency, as they call it. So you could file and ask for it. So they made sure that it could be kept secret, so forth, and developed. I remember the first transistor radio, guys. My phone was on a wall with a dial. We used to have to jump over, I mean, leapfrog over your family to get there first. And usually by the time you grabbed the receiver, 14 other hands had gotten it out of your hands. Oh, God. And I've had a cell phone since 90, and I didn't want that, but my husband was right because he was a truck driver at the time, and I worried constantly. And it when I watch other people, I mean, we turned off the landlines because nobody called. We didn't answer nobody when he called, and we used to sell, so, and they're still charging us $50 a month. We didn't even pick up the receiver, but we had a charge for $50 a month. So I don't know what that was about. I owned the phone. Mm, I don't know. The world gets sillier, if you ask me. Um, could be the old age thing striking. I don't know. But and once again, I need you guys to like, share, tickle the bell. You don't even, it's going to ding. And that's there for you to go and look. You don't have to at that point. You could look later, or you don't have to look at all. You could cancel it. It's free. But I need you guys. I really, 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 really need you guys. I tried asking family and friends, and that did not go well. Turned out they weren't that many after all. Some of them have looked. Um, I asked my kids, and I think it may have something to do with their clearances, so they can't do it that way. I'm not sure. My daughter-in-law did watch a few, and she said she liked them and that she had subscribed it. But she's a great lady. On top of her profession, she works on the Navy side of the base, and my son works on the Army side of the base. So I can't tell you how proud of all of my kids. My daughter, my stepdaughter, she's a nurse. Her oldest, like I said, trained at Fort Sam Houston. He's a medic, and he's now in Korea. Which my other grandson just left. I mean, that's so wild, isn't it wild? Um, we don't see them as much as we'd like. Uh, Robert could go. I mean, but he knows I can't do it. So I think he actually doesn't go as much as he should, especially now he's retired. But it is a heck of a trip. It's a 3 hour drive and a 3 hour drive back. So when you get there, you're tired. In my case, I'm hurting. I'm like screaming, hurting. And I don't want to say that, I don't want to see our kids. But usually half the time they were at the other grandparents, or she had to be at work, or so it's difficult, to get all that timing in. We do see more of our granddaughter and grandson because we're right here with them, and we don't see them very often, even though they're right here. Let's see. I'm sure not really interested in what I'm doing. If you're having a bad day. I'm still thinking of trying to figure out a way to get Cat Williams to come to my house. Actually, I think I'd just go ahead and rent the hotel lobby. Thank God what I wouldn't give to talk to Cat Williams. Oh, my world. I mean, I'd be over the moon if I got to. He is such a wonderful guy. And I mean, all the way around, not just his comedy. He's philanthropist and things like this. Nobody knows that. He's helped a lot of people, just like Keanu Reeves. They don't do it for attention and they don't want the attention. They don't want it to leak out that they did anything, but they help out a lot of people. Both of them are my heroes. Mm, that coffee is getting cold. My hero, my first hero, of course, would be my husband for lots of reasons, which I won't bore you with, but he's awesome. I see we got 40 in the can already. I didn't check chats last night. I ended up working from like 6 in the morning, did throw a cast in, and my house was a disaster. So everything had to be done. I'm so terrible. When it's cold out, I throw blankets on the floors for the cats, or actually on the floors and on the couches, and let them pick what they want. And they all, snuggle up and make a nest. So all that has to be cleaned, every few days. And I love my wood floors. And my girlfriend ran by, who I was waiting on yesterday, and I opened the door. She had texted me, "I'm here." I opened the door, and she was flying across the front yard. And I said, "Okay, she's coming in." Usually it's just give me a hug because her mom lives just down the street. But when she's here, she'll, stop and see me. Anyway, she gave me a hug and she came on in because she too knew the change. She knew the house the way it was done before, and she saw it when it was almost done. But we still had a pod outside full of furniture. We had brought some of it, and Robert did all of this himself. He had to drag out the carpet, which you can imagine was a mess. We saw mold under there. It was pink, green, yellow, blue. I mean, it was like a rainbow. And this isn't, in the carpet. Yet he managed to do all that by himself, get the bar in. He bought me a beautiful china cabinet, which both of my china cabinets fit into the one, so we could get rid of those two. The table that he made for me, it's got a marble top, seat six. It's gorgeous, but it's heavy, and we don't entertain anymore. So the bar was the perfect thing for us, and it turned out that the way he did the house, it is beautiful. I had picked a shade of blue, and they didn't have it, and he didn't want to disappoint. He's a great husband, but he found one that was almost exactly the same color that I had originally ordered. And so somehow, while working and having 12 days or 12 hours rather off every 2 weeks, he still managed to do it, the most of it in a couple of days. We had to keep the pod for 2 months, but he did all the work himself. He had to move all the big furniture, and he bought the other stuff. So he had to bring it in. The bar he did not realize was going to be one, a very expensive one, which he did not pay much for. But it came out of $1 million home. So you can imagine, he's got this. He had his trailer with him too, but he was thinking like a small corner bar. So they're having to tie it on, and it's gorgeous. I love the bar. Um, Quite a few friends he's had come over and spend some time at the bar. So this is like the meeting place now, although I insist everybody get drunk. And leave your keys, but everybody gets drunk. But actually, no, we don't have a lot of company. There's reasons for that as well. So if there's anything you guys want to talk about, you got to hit the like, got to hit the share, throw it in the comments. I really will, I promise, get to it. Today, I think I may run around just to get out of the house at this point. So we'll see what I end up with here. I had a few extra subscriptions yesterday and a couple more viewers, and God knows I love all of you. I can't thank you enough. I really, really, really need those likes. These shares help add to the algorithms, and I can't do what I want to do until I reach 1,000 viewers. So I need you guys to come in and like, dislike, do something. I can't say that enough, right? Long story long. Um, let's see. We just had a beautiful day yesterday and today too, so it's really okay today. The other thing is the Fannie Willis case, but that's not going to be settled till the judge has had 12 weeks, or what is it? Oh, 2 weeks. Either way, I'm not expecting to see this woman go down for nothing. I don't know how many thousands she stole, but it had to be quite a bit if she went to Bimini. That's just one place. The Bahamas, number two. You know, let me get some of that money. It's like these people cry. I'm about to go down to Texas and walk across the river, go to Santosa. I can be in the hotel that they're paying for and go on the Riverwalk. I don't know if they'll buy a redhead coming across. I wouldn't want to get my trouble. My husband would have to do that. I wouldn't want him to get in trouble. But it's a thought. I mean, and they're still doing it. They're still doing it. So far, they say Trump has won this one, Trump has won that one, Trump has won this one. Well, again, at what point does it sink in that for months this president won this state, this president won that state, when does it sink in that y'all don't need to stand in the rain in November to vote because it's all been done? The Electoral College meets, and you'll hear it on TV or look it up on Google has everything, and it'll tell you that the Electoral College votes in the president, supposedly on the will of the people. Well, I don't know about that. You know, I saw dumpsters filled with votes. Um, you could mail in your vote. You didn't need an ID to vote. I mean, come on. It was like we were in the Soviet Union suddenly. You know, everybody could vote. You don't need an ID. I need an ID to pick up my freaking mail. These people don't need an ID to vote. What's the point of voting anyway at that point? Because it's not counted. They say it is. I don't know how that works in there. But if you've already run the state and you've already won it, and that's before you go to vote in November, and they're voting on what you prefer, how the hell are they doing that for one? Because you ain't voted yet. Then you go out there and you vote, but it's already been decided. So why are you voting? I get a kick out of these people too. It's on their hats, they're wearing a shirt, it's on the bumper sticker, there's a sign in the yard. And still, they're in there voting where nobody can see them because it's a private vote. I'm like, no, it's not. I can see that shit from space. No, no. We know who you're voting for, buddy. It's all over the place. So we have, it'll be an interesting for me November. Let's see what else I had. Robert was going to go out, but somebody else, he was doing it with somebody else to fix it, something or whatever it is. And they charged so much that when Robert found out, he called the people and said, no, you don't need us to come and charge you that much. You need to find somebody local. And he hated doing that. They're a couple that's as old as we are, but otherwise they would have had this huge bill that wasn't necessary. And he don't believe in that. He's a great guy, you know. So he called the people and he told them, you know, they had not been told how much it would be, and they found they could not afford that. Had Robert not called to tell them, uh, Lord only knows what they would have done, you know, to be able to pay it. So I hope he never works for that man again because I don't like him. He's not done this just this one time either. Mm. God, my coffee's good. And I'm cheating, of course. My husband buys these for me, and I can only have, oops, one a day. And so, and they're nice because they go out, which is another thing I liked when I was in Europe because usually you were at the bar. So by the time, you know, you sat it down, you drank half your drink, and, you know, it went out. So you weren't wasting money. Back then, you could buy them in the machine, for God's sake. When I grew up, there was a box with cigarettes in it on the table. There were ashtrays, but the lighters that they had everywhere that sat down. They had cigars in a box there. They had pipes and tobacco sitting at another place. They had a rolling trolley for their alcohol. It was just so cool. So, you know, when the friends and family come over, you know, They had a cigarette. They had a pipe. I mean, Daddy had like 8 pipes on the thing, and all kinds of tobacco for them to choose from. And that's how it was back then. And I don't know who decided that we should go ahead and dismiss all the tobacco corporations who made a fortune, of course. And then when they did that, you could still get a cigarette, but it was 4 times more than it was before that. You gotta love Congress or shoot them. You can't shoot Congress. You can't fight City Hall. You really can't. Mm. You can in the smaller towns. I watched it. They said they couldn't come in. One small township wanted to talk about the fact that they didn't want their children watching shows that kill people and how to pray in Muslim style and this kind of thing. Well, they arrested a bunch of them. They roughed them up. I mean, half of them lost their pants for God's sake. They really got to get pants that fit, but drug them off to jail. Here, this is an open forum, a school. It's the school board. I've done before them, and I've had teachers thrown out. And I was shocked. I really was to see these officers were not kind. They didn't tell them what they were being arrested for. They just took them out in vicious ways. I'm talking one guy had 6 cops on him taking him out. I'm like, good God, what is he, the Hulk? See, people can't even go in now and say, no, I don't want my kids to do that. Their only other option is to homeschool them, which is a horrible idea because it, I lived to go to school. And I made great grades. I read a lot. I want to know everything. But the main thing was that was your people. That was who you hung out with. That was your friends, and that was the only place you saw them. So everybody ate lunch together. Everybody had breaks together. They gave us breaks. Mine was like a college campus. My husband said, "He's right though. He really is." And he didn't see all of it, but he did see most of it. I've seen the high schools here. They fit in our main building. They with leftover. Mm-mm-mm. So if you're moving to Georgia, you're probably going to homeschool your kid. And again, I hate to hear that because that was your social life. Was your friends at school. That was your social life. Yeah, you could find them all because the bikes were there. And when you got older, you could find them all because they're at the park with the muscle cars. Um, Everybody. I mean, man, we had a good time. I'll put it that way. I think they should put drive-ins back. I used to go in to get in. I used to get in the trunk. All of us who couldn't afford the dollar or whatever it was. Rick, in particular, had a great trunk. He had a GTO in. So there'd be like 4 of us in there. He'd stop like a block away and we'd all jump in. But we got to see the movie. When we took my son, he was only 2, I think. I was in Europe, and then I was moving so much and working at DC, and I didn't see Star Wars, and it was a big thing. And by then, my son was like, I think he was 3 actually. So we grabbed the van, a friend of mine, and we threw keggers in it, and everybody else had a car, and we had the kegs in there, and my son, of course, he had a seat. So we get there, and he still remembers seeing it. He's a Star Wars fan of all of them. And I'm tickled to see that. I took him his first movie, and he remembered it. I was shocked. I took him to see Dark Crystal, and he still remembers and loves that movie. So maybe I was a good mom sometimes. Maybe it might be a little much to bring keggers to see Star Wars, but we had a good time. But it was a different era. It really was. You do that now. You must have just drive to the nearest police station because you gonna be in all kind of shit for doing that. So don't do that. Rent the movie and put a big screen in the backyard. There you go. Everybody can stay in a tent or something. But yeah, you can't drink and drive. Back in the days, it wasn't like that. You didn't have the traffic and all, and it really was never that safe. But the driver, whoever was driving, might have something to drink, usually would not, because they knew they had to drive. Um, I see him fidgeting. I think that's what I do. I get up here just so you guys see what you do. What you doing? A great shout out again to all those who saw me last night, and I really appreciate you guys. I really do. I just love this. It's social Woodstock. Get on here, tell me some stuff. Tell me what you want to see. Tell me what you don't want to see. I don't care. We'll do it. We'll do it. I know there's a bunch of us hippies slash baby boomers out there, and I also know that a lot of us are tired of seeing all the crap we're seeing. What the hell are they doing giving these illegal immigrants money and a hotel while they step over our homeless? They're not getting food. They have sleeping in the street with their dog who trained with them and went to war with them. They lived, they come back, they're in the street. There's no program that says a veteran doesn't have to stay in the street. You now have to pay. I didn't pay for years, and then they hit me with this huge bill the minute I went on Social Security. And I had no idea. What they did was they charged me for my eye surgery. And let me tell you what, now, honey, it was not cheap. And they didn't say a word. I had eye surgery last year, and I just got the bill through the Statement of Treasury, or State Department of the Treasury. And you're not getting away from those guys. That's like taking a knife to a missile fight. On top of that shit, I got to go to the VA next week. You just got to love this shit. So Robert and I are trying to work on my Medicaid, getting me on that. He knows much more about that, and I hate insurance. So he's taking care of all that for me when he has a chance. And you have to actually go there, I think. He's going to try. Uh, I don't know what to do. I really wanted to go find somebody in the Treasury Department, send them a nicely worded email. Yeah. Hey, bitch. So we don't want to do that. Well, I might, but the Blackhawks might scare the cats. So we don't need the helicopters landing. Let's see. I don't think I covered too much because there just wasn't a lot to cover. I said that last 3 days. I'm kind of good at that because I'm glad not to hear no crap. Mm-mm. Now it's got the screen goes to, are you still watching? No, I quit 20 minutes ago. It's a music channel. You're not supposed to have to watch. There we go. Finally, I'm about to go. I see my time is up. I try not to go over an hour. Again, I appreciate all of you very, very, very much. I wish I could just reach out and hug everybody. I can't tell you how much it means to me to see, even if it's just one person, to see that somebody liked it, or somebody put a comment in, or somebody even subscribed. My algorithms are going up, so I'm just on the moon. So I hope you guys keep coming back. Tell me what you like, what you don't like. I will try to start dropping videos of other things. I didn't touch up the paranormal too much. They've got some really great toys out, and I'd love to go back. Uh, the ghost hunting, I really would, but I can't really do that anymore. So it's nice to see that it's on YouTube, and they get some really, really great stuff. Um, the the new toys, as I call it, they have are just outstanding. Gods, I wish I'd have had that stuff when I was doing it. I used to storm chase too. Now I just watch them go through my backyard. I'm not kidding you. All that time I've lived in Chicago, Tornado Alley. I come to Georgia. We had three go through our backyard in another area, and I've had one in this one that tore up two that came through and tore up everything. And poor Robert, he's out there fixing it, get me another one. And, it's just not fair to him. And I can't do much at all to help him. He won't let me because he knows I shouldn't. So, yeah, I got lucky. I got a great husband, kind of a hero. He is to me anyway. But I guess I better go, quit nattering on. Again, I appreciate you guys so very, very much. Please hit that like button, hit that subscribe. That's that little bell. And I will see you again tomorrow. Same place, same bat station. No baseball here. And again, I'll be here all week with lots of love, guys. Have a great day.